Yes, a very good morning once again to all of you. Let's just discuss a few important things related to this poem, A Thing of Beauty. We'll discuss poetic devices, various literary devices first. Okay, so what is the rhyme scheme? If you look at this poem, what is the rhyme scheme of this poem? It is A, A, B, B, C, C, and so on. Okay, A, A, B, B, C, C. Yes. So if you look at the last word of every line, the last word of first and second line is rhyming. Similarly, the last words of third and fourth lines, they are rhyming. So it's A, A, B, B, C, C. And like forever, never, keep, sleep, breathing, breathing. So whenever you asked to write rhyming words, then you will write the words, but if you're asked rhyme scheme, then you will just write A, A, B, B, C, C in small letters, not in capital letters. Okay. Then find out various examples of alliteration. First of all, tell me what is alliteration. Muskan Vedha, what is alliteration? What do you mean by alliteration? You won't be asked to define alliteration, but you should know what is alliteration. Only then you would be able to find out. What is alliteration? Yes, Muskan. Repetition of a repetition of first letter, repetition of same sound. It is a consonant sound. Yes, it is repetition of the same consonant sound in consecutive words. Consecutive words means one after the other in the same line. Okay, so that is alliteration. It is consonant sound. And whenever you have repetition of the vowel sound, then it is assonance. So this is alliteration. Okay, so find out various examples of alliteration. Yes, simple sheep. Very good. Yes, noble natures. Good. What else? Cooling covert. Yes. Happy heart. Where do we have happy heart in this poem? Do we have happy heart here? Anywhere? Which line? You need to tell me alliteration from this poem. Okay. So from this poem. What else? Some shape. Yes. Some shape of beauty. Yes. Good. Cooling covert we've done. Have heard. ठीक Simple sheep we've done. Okay. So sprouting a shady boon. Okay. SS. So when you would write alliteration, you would underline that consonant. Okay. For example, S को आप underline करोगे वहां पे. Have heard हो गया. ठीक है. So all these are some shape of beauty. S को underline करोगे. Cooling का word में C को underline करोगे. So when you would write in your exams, you would underline that consonant letters in the series of consecutive words. Okay. Then there is another literary device, metaphor. Can you find out metaphor? मैंने शायद आपको बताया भी था जब हमने ये poem की थी. Can you tell me where do we have, where is metaphor? Yes, flowery band, immortal drink. And how would you explain it? How would you explain it? Pleasant shade. Explain it. How is it a metaphor? What kind of a comparison is there? Hmm? Explain it. Yes, Akarshita. Hmm. But then, how do you relate this line to that endless fountain of immortal drink? Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. Then another example of metaphor is it keeps a bower quiet for us. Here, how is it a metaphor? Can anyone just explain? Hmm? The fourth line, a bower quiet for us. This is also an example of metaphor. So what is a bower? What is it? It is a shade. It is a shady place. So what does it provide? It refers to a quiet, shady part in the garden. Yes, it's a shady place. So it gives you calmness. Okay, it gives you peace. And the calmness of a bower is, yes, it gives you comfort. Very good. It is compared to calmness that you find, the soothing effect of a thing of beauty. So, beautiful thing, any beautiful thing, it gives you a soothing effect. It gives you a calming effect. So that calmness of bower is compared to the calmness that you find in a thing of beauty. Okay. Then we have another poetic device, anaphora. Okay. You can write it in your books because, as I told you, if you write it in any of your registers, you're going to, forget it where you have written. So it's better if you write it along with by the side of your poem only. Anaphora. Now, what is this anaphora? Anaphora is, it is the use of the same word in two consecutive lines. Okay, so if you look at, can you find out two words, the same word that are repeated in yes, of and of. So it is of noble natures. This is line number 8, 9, and 10, I guess. Of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways. So it is, yes. So it is repeated, of is repeated. It's the same word that is repeated in two consecutive lines. Consecutive means um, one after the other. Will keep, will never. Tell me the line number, Sarabjot. Second and third. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep. Yeah, will. Yes. So will word is repeated in second and third lines. Okay, so but mostly it is in the beginning of the line. Okay, in the beginning of the line. For example, we have this off and off in the beginning. Then another literary device is inversion. Now, inversion is when the normal order of words is reversed. Okay, like we say in simple prose, and we reverse the order of the words. For example, therefore, on every morrow are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth. This is inversion. How is it an example of inversion? I just told you normal order of words is inverse. Normal order क्या होता यहाँ पे? Therefore, on every morrow, are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth? Normal order क्या है words का? अगर होता तो क्या होता? Yes, normal order would be therefore on every morrow we are reading a flowery band. So poets have this liberty, to use this kind of inversion, okay, in their poetry. So this is normal order of the words is reversed. So this is an example of inversion. Okay, are we reading? So आप अगर लिखोगे यहाँ पे आपको, if these lines are given for reference to context and if you will be writing it, so you would underline this, that are we is this is an example of inversion because the normal order is reversed. Okay, so this is inversion. Then there is another literary device, that is antithesis. You can write it down, Antithesis, antithesis. An antithesis, from the name itself, it suggests that when two opposite words are placed together in the same line, two opposite words in the same, two antonyms in the same line. Can you find out? Old and young. Yes, very good. Trees, old and young. So this is an example of antithesis. Old and young, these are two opposites. These are antonyms. And when they're placed together in the same line, this is an example of antithesis. Got it? Followed or not? Have you followed this or not? Just say yes or no. Okay. So we have done rhyme scheme. We've done the alliteration, metaphor, anaphora, inversion, and antithesis. All these are the poetic devices that have been used, literary devices that have been used in this poem. Okay. Now, various extra questions. What is Keats' idea, according to you? What is his idea of beauty? And I don't want the same children, same students to be always responding in the class, as I have Akarshita always ready with the answers. So I told you the other day also that I'm going to give these kind of students extra marks in their internal assessment. And the moment I start asking questions, some of the students start leaving the class. Something that gives you joy forever. Okay. What else? To Keats, beauty lies in truth. It is eternal. Okay. Let me just read out. Beauty. Yes. Yes. Bolo. Yes. And according to him, beauty is like a heavenly tonic. Okay. That is, and the very first, it is a source of constant joy. It is source of constant happiness and pleasure. Very good. And it multiplies. It keeps on multiplying. It is constant source of happiness and pleasure. It multiplies. And yes, let me just start from the very beginning. Something that gives you joy forever. Beauty lies in truth, and anything true is beautiful. He loves nature, and his touch transforms everything into beauty. He creates an imaginary world of dream where one can forget the harsh realities of life. Yes, very good. And beauty is joy, beauty is peace. He says that beautiful things are like an unlimited joy. It remains forever. It stays forever and never fades away. It is a source of constant joy. Yes, constant happiness and pleasure. It multiplies. It never passes into nothingness. It's permanent. It removes negativity. Very good. The poet defines beauty as something which is everlasting and which keeps on adding joy in our life. And how does it keep on adding? Because whenever you think of that beautiful thing, whenever it is revived into your memory, you feel happy. It removes negativity in our life and it helps us in harsh times. Good. It is never ending. Very good. Okay. Next is, and he says beauty in any form. It can be in the form of a poem also. It can be in the form of any work of literature. And if you're not interested in literature, it can be in the form of any subject that you are interested in. Okay. And then it is also in the form of uh, a mother's love for her child, or it can be in the form of any gesture, a gesture of kindness. Not only the objects of nature, various gestures, various things, various actions that you do in your life, they all add to, depends on the eye of the beholder. Yes, very good. Okay, so all these beautiful things and the objects of nature, they soothe our mind, they soothe our spirit, so they refresh our mind, so therefore they are beautiful. Okay, and then next is, in what form does beauty get stored in our minds? In what form does beauty get stored? Just think of it. Even if, yes, yes, in the form of memories, very good. In the form of thoughts and memories, and whenever we are sad, we, think of those thoughts, those memories, they are revived into our minds, and whenever we think of them, we feel happy, we relive those moments, and we feel happy and joyous. Good. How do we weave a wreath of or a flowery band? How do we weave a wreath or a flowery band? And what are these flowers actually? They're symbolic of something. They're not just flowers, but they're symbolic of something. What are these flowers? It represent connection, very good. And these flowers are actually the memories that we create. These flowers are actually the moments that we create, and they bind us to the planet Earth. And I just told you what are these moments. They can be in the form of any gesture, any gesture of sympathy, any gesture of kindness, any gesture of love, and anything. They can be any beautiful thing. It keeps a bond alive with nature, with our planet Earth. Okay, so why does these flowers signify the beautiful things? Yes, and they're in the form. They can be in the form of anything, like I just told you, gesture, any action. Okay, so and why does man suffer, according to Keats? Why does he suffer pain and agony? Why do human beings suffer a lot? Why do they have pain and agony? Yes, Akarshita. Due to disappointment. Good. Akarshita, bolo. Okay, according to you, she says it is the expectations that we have in our life. Sometimes we set too high a goal for ourselves that we are not able to achieve them. That also leads to disappointment. So basically, it is disappointment. It is the trials and tribulations of life, the difficult situations that we face in our life, and also it's natural. It's part of life. Yes, and very good. It's lack of noble qualities that cause suffering. So we feel around us that we're surrounded by so many people who are selfish, so many people who are greedy, and they always want to extract something out of us. They always want to take something out of us, but they don't want to give anything in return. So when we feel ourselves surrounded with such people, when there is a lot of negativity around us, so it is bound to cause a lot of pain and suffering in our lives. Let me just read out what some of the students had written. I missed that. According to man suffers due to Inhuman dearth. Dearth is, as you know, it is the inhuman scarcity, of noble natures, and due to the inhuman and hostile attitude that makes our days sad and darkens our ways with distress and wretchedness. Yes, good, because it's natural, it's part of life. Yes, it is a part of life, and and also if we have pain and agony, we are bound to have good days also. So if there is darkness, definitely there is going to be light ahead. So all these are two sides of the same coin. Lack of noble qualities that causes suffering. If we won't suffer, we won't realize the true value of joy. Yes, very good. Dissatisfaction due to stress. Good. Okay. Next question is, can human lives be without suffering? It's another form of the same question. Can it be can it be without suffering? Yes, this is a part of life, and to overcome this, what we can do is we can just surround ourselves with beautiful things. If we try to perceive beauty in things around us, we can just lessen that suffering. We can, yes, we can lessen that pain that is there, because ups and downs, they are part of our life, they're part of our existence. So we can just sum up that as suffering and beauty are two sides of the same coin. Yes. So, and we have to just try and perceive beauty around us. Next is, what are these unhealthy and overdarkened ways referred to by the poet? What are these unhealthy and overdarkened ways that are referred to by John Keats? It's the same thing. Russian, Jasmine, Mehek, Bolo. What are these overdarkened ways? These are gloomy days. These are days of things that are not pleasant. The unhealthy refer to trials and tribulations, yes. And the dishonest and unfair means people adopt. People around us, days full of sadness. Yes, basically the difficulties that we find in our life. Dishonest and unfair means people adopt to achieve their goals. Lack of humanity. The times filled with negative thoughts or pessimism. Yes, so these are unhealthy and over hardships that we face and find in our lives. Okay. Okay. Is the poet captivated by physical beauty or spiritual beauty? You have to explain. Is he captivated by physical beauty or by spiritual beauty? Bolo? Both? Akarshita, spiritual. How? You have to explain. This is not a one word answer. You need to explain it. Rajdeep, can you explain? You said both. Okay. Anything else? Good. Anything else? Spiritual beauty, as he defines beauty as the effect on the soul that creates everlasting joy. Yes. So even if he's talking about the physical things like tree, but like trees, he talks about suns, but all these things he's talking about the advantages. They're the symbolic, because trees, what do they represent and what do they give us? They give us shade, so soothing effect of the trees. Then he talks about cooling covert. Okay, and so it beauty basically what he's talking is what he's saying is it makes an appeal to our senses, and we feel relaxed, we feel refreshed. Okay, next is, fight the pain and suffering, man still loves life. Why? Despite so much of pain and suffering that we have in our lives, man still loves life. Yes, Akarshita, bolo. Like we said, that if there is darkness, there is definitely going to be light ahead. So, in spite of all the problems and miseries that make man's life gloomy and cause him suffering, let me read it out. Then I'll ask Tushita to, because she had also raised her hand. So, yes, um, he's written. In spite of all the problems and miseries that make man's life gloomy and cause him suffering and pain, he does not cease to love life, because a thing of beauty removes all the sadness and covers his spirit. According to Keats, every small or big thing of nature is a thing of beauty. and a source of pleasure. Yes, and if we are having some difficult times, it is an indication that good times are also going to come. The darkness is not going to remain forever. As we see in nature, after night, there is definitely day waiting for us. So scenic beauty around us motivates us because life is about all that we go through. We should face everything. There is a purpose and pleasure. Yes. Okay. Okay, Tushita, uh, can you just add on to what the others have said? Yes, Tushita. Hmm. So very good. So let me just ask a few more questions from you people. Um, I'll read out an extract for you, and you need to answer questions. For simple sheep and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make, against the hot season, the mid forest break, which with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the tombs. Can you explain this phrase, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms? What is rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms? Can you explain it? It is mid forest break. Yes, so the thick forest undergrowth, it is full of, that we have ferns, but we have in between those ferns, they are brimming with the musk rose flowers, with the beautiful smelling flowers. Okay, so this is the meaning of fair musk rose blooms. Should sheep could also be a reference to what? Sheep could also be a reference to what? Bolo? I'll give you options and then you can reply. Okay. Yes. Mountainous animals, human beings, harmless creatures, animals of prey. So it is sheep. We discussed the other day. They are the followers. They are harmless creatures or human beings. Hmm? Human beings. Yes. What is beauty in Keats' opinion? A suffering, a cause of suffering, a cause of pain, a joy forever. It's very simple. Beauty is a joy forever. Okay. From where has this poem been taken? Tell me. From where has this poem been taken? कहाँ से ली गई है? कल बताया था. From Endymion, a poetic romance. This is Keats' work only. Endymion, a poetic romance. ठीक है. Next. What kind of a sleep does a thing of beauty provide? What kind of a sleep does a thing of beauty provide? बोलो. It is a relaxed sleep, a sound sleep, yes, and a sleep which is full of sweet dreams. ठीक है. What does quiet breathing imply? What do you mean by quiet breathing and what is its implication? Quiet breathing. What does it imply? Peaceful, relaxed breathing, peaceful breathing. वो कैसे आती है बेटा? How does it come? Quiet breathing कैसे आती है? इसको relate करो ना. It's related to a thing of beauty. Yes, so you have to relate it. You will not just tell the meaning of quiet breathing. वो तो सबको ही पता है, ठीक है? But you have to relate it to a beautiful thing, and you can say that beautiful sights, beautiful things, they act like a kind of nutrition for our minds, and therefore they relax us, they refresh us, and they take away all negativity from our lives. They take away all kind of restlessness from our lives, and therefore they make our breathing very easy, and they make our breathing comfortable. ठीक है? What are these flowery bands that bind us to the earth? They are memories, they are connections, they are, you know, any form of beauty, and it can be, you can say, the moments that we create, the actions that we do, okay, the experiences, the kind of gestures we have, and you can give examples of gestures of kindness, gestures of love, gestures of companionship, or you can say any form of beauty, anything of beauty. love for natural beauty. Okay, so all these are flowery bands. They are not actually just flowers. They are similar to the action. They're symbolic of the actions that we do in our life. It can be a kind action. It can be a gesture of, or whenever you are. It can be a poem. It can be a play. It can be any work of fiction. So all these things are expression of our admiration of nature, and they bind us to the earth. Okay, to our planet. What is the symbolic meaning of simple sheep? What is the symbolic reference of simple sheep? Yes, I had explained it in detail the other day. I'd also make you write. What is the symbolic reference of the simple sheep? Yes, it refers to Jesus, followers of Jesus. Yes, so they represent innocence, and he's made specifically is talked about innocent creatures, followers of Jesus, and as symbols of common people also, the human beings who have faith in God. Okay, so this is all about this poem. If there's anything that is left that you've not followed, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll just move on to the attendance part.